Good afternoon and welcome to another thrilling edition of Standpoint. I am Veronica Onuchi. We have a special guest on the show today. He is a very interesting personality who has had his fair share of controversies. His Imperial Majesty Oba Abdul-Rasheed Akanbi the First, the Oluwo of Iwo land, is my guest. He is also the Deputy Chairman of Osun State Traditional Council. You're welcome to the show, Your Majesty.
Thank you.
Well, would you have preferred I introduced you as the Emir of Iwo?
You can refer to me as long as a king, you can refer to me as the Igwe of Yoruba land, the Obi, the Ata, anything that you call a king in Nigeria, because we're one. And there is no Hausa nation, there is no Fulani nation. There is one nation which I know right now is called Nigeria. And you can refer to me, anything you can call a king is my name, because I have Fulani, Hausas, Igbos living in my domain. I want to be a father to them. So that it can bring unity. And that's why we have to change what is on the ground, which has been sowing many discords among our children.
So you believe that changing, if they call you Emir or if they call you Igwe, it will change that narrative?
Well, you call me a king right now, right?
Yes.
What does a king means? Is that Yoruba?
No, that's English.
Yeah, thank you. So if they call Emir, which is just a different language, is there a problem with that language?
Some people see a problem with it. They believe that this is putting up an identity that is alien.
What about if you call me Igwe? Is it alien to Nigeria?
It is not. It's about a tribe, a people.
Okay. That's the problem of Nigeria, because we tend to be more tribalistic, and that is causing segregation and discrimination among our children. I'm a king, a royal father. I'm the father of this nation. Even the president, traditionally the president is my son, even if it's a Fulani or an Hausa. How do you like it if you prefer to live in the north, in Kano, and you cannot be addressed as a Nigerian? You are addressed as, I don't know where you're from. Where are you from?
I am from Kogi State.
Okay, I want you to say, I'm a Nigerian.
I am a Nigerian.
That's it. But you are only a Nigerian with your passport and outside this country. You are not a Nigerian in this Nigeria. Who is a Nigerian? Tell me.
Nigerian is someone who has the identity of a Nigerian.
Outside the country, that's what you're talking about. In Nigeria, do you see yourself as a Nigerian? Or you see yourself as, where's your tribe?
Ebira.
Okay, so if you are in Iwo now, and you decide to live in Iwo with your family, should I be calling, when you decide to run for a political post in Iwo, should I tell you to go back to Ebira land?
No.
But that is what is happening.
What obtains.
Yes, that is what is going on right
And so this step you're taking, you are trying to ensure that it binds everyone together.
Everybody in
So
Nigeria.
how successful has it been for you? Seeing that it is said, reports say that you were queried by the Osun State government.
No, the Osun State government, we thank the government that we have in Osun State now. They are people who are civilized. Yes, the governor is very, very well civilized. He came from Lagos State. He was a commissioner in Lagos State. They didn't ask him, and he's from Osun. They didn't ask him in Lagos if he's, go back to Osun before we make you commissioner. We have seen people from the East who have become commissioners in Lagos State and House of Rep in Lagos State. That is what they call civilization. That brings unity. You know, the governor was a commissioner in Lagos State before, so he is civilized. And that's why he is able to do all this infrastructure that people are not even, they can't understand.
But was there a query or not?
A query for what?
That you were trying to adopt?
They can only ask me that, Kabiyesi, we heard about some things in the newspaper, and are you removing yourself? How do somebody remove himself? Look at me. This is who I am. I know who I am.
But there have been pictures of you being dressed in a regalia that is not like this, that of the emir, and turban as an emir.
Wait, actually, I have all the right to even wear that because I do that every Friday. Every Oluwo does that. Every Friday you must wear that to the mosque. My town is predominantly Muslims. We are 95% Muslims. That is the only place in the southwest called the home of Islamic scholars. Oluwo of Iwo. That's the only town in the whole of with the southwest. Our Islam predates, it's over 1655. We have our first mosque in Iwo. And the king was the one that brought Islam. And let me tell you about kingship. When it comes to Iwo, we don't use, since over 17th century, we've been using turban, not crown, for any of our kings that God installed. Our own history is different. You can't put my history to the history of another land. The way they do it in Ibadan, in Osogbo, in any other place, is different from the way we do it in Iwo. Iwo, you are turbaned to become the king. If you want, your crown will be, you do it by yourself. But I'm still nobody, to talk about people who promote culture and tradition, I promote my culture more because everything I wear is 100% Nigerian. Even my car is Nigerian.
Really?
Yes. Innocent Vehicles made my car. Innocent is a Nigerian car. Yeah, and that's what I do. Everything from head to toe. Even you want to go to my underwear, you will know it's made of.
No, we'll stop right
You will
there.
know it's made of even indigenous clothes like this. And I love it.
Good.
I promote my culture more than anybody. I know who I am. Who I am and what we are is different. Who I am, I'm a Yoruba man. I'm born and as a Yoruba. I will die and stay as an Oba and a Yoruba man. But what we are, what I am is a Nigerian. I am a Yoruba man before I become a Nigerian. We've seen each other in this same Nigeria with different ethnicity, but we need to move together as one nation.
All right, to push further with the emir title, which some people claim you adopted, is
anybody that is questioning that is not civilized. Because what civilization means is that you can see, if you should be a senator representing Kano local government.
But some group.
That's what we want. As a one nation Nigeria. I want an Hausa man or an Hausa boy to be, or an Igbo man from Olu or from Enugu or from Anambra to be in Iwo, that has been living in Iwo and all his life is in Iwo. So if somebody has been contributing to the economy of Iwo, to your land for the over 40, 50 years, doesn't that person have the right as a Nigerian? Should that person, when he needs something, he doesn't live in Olu, he lives in Iwo for the past, even his generations have been living in Iwo. So, and he doesn't live in Enugu. So what should we do?
But okay, so
when he needs something from the land, should you tell that person as a Nigerian? Don't look at him as an Igbo man again.
All right, how about the group, a Yoruba group, that's the Afenifere, saying this is a desecration of the stool you represent?
Yeah, they need to go and check what unity is about and stop jumping. They need to hear from me, if they didn't hear nothing. They didn't, and I think people should move from their conservative ways. Conservative ways will now, because we should be conservative progressive. What's it called? The wisdom of the old people, it's good, but it's antique.
When you say antique, what do you mean?
We can only
do away with the past?
No, you don't do away with the past. What do you do with antiques? You keep them in the museum. You keep them very safe. You put them in a glass. You keep them. You visit them as history. But they cannot be applied to the present.
Why is that?
Now, okay, let me tell you, you have cars now. The past, we use what's it called, horses. Why don't you use horses now to go to work? Or you want to go to Ibadan or to Lagos and to what's it called, Ondo State? Why cars? Why don't you use the wisdom of the past is using horses to ride to Ibadan? Can you ride on horses anymore now?
People still do.
Oh my God, come on. For a ceremony around the palace or in the polo clubs and stuff like that. You don't travel from Lagos to Ibadan. Or then let's see on these roads that goes to Ibadan, so why don't you jump on a horse? You jump on a horse, you and your husband, and ride like that to Ibadan.
It won't move as fast as a car would do, but now...
Okay, and that's what is called the present technology.
Now, is this the revolution you are trying to bring to the Yoruba culture that you have been reported?
Not only Yoruba culture, we're talking about we as Nigerians. We have agreed to stay in one Nigeria. Until that time that you said, no, we are not anymore Nigerian, we have broken apart, and everybody has his nation. That's when you... And if you think that we have a Yoruba nation and no Igbo will live in there, no Hausa will live in there, then there you go.
But this...
Who is the owner of a land? Who is a Yoruba? Who is an Igbo? Do you know?
All Nigerians.
Do we ever migrated from anywhere before? Are we all strangers in the land or not? Let me tell you, when we choose to become one nation, Nigeria, we should live in peace and love. Obama was able to move from Hawaii and come to Chicago when he was an orphan. His father is from Africa. He became a junior and he struggled, became a junior senator in Chicago. Do you know that there is no land something between Hawaii and America, right? There's no land border. Yes. When he wants to become a senator in Chicago, they didn't tell him to go back to Hawaii. They didn't tell him you're a black man. Or they didn't tell him your father is from Africa, go back to Africa.
All right, but quickly before we move on, all of this that you have been trying to do is giving you or has raised a controversial status, so to speak, for you. So how are you? It seems you are enjoying it. How are you dealing with this?
I must be consistent and persistent with tenacity, with my beliefs, with my idea that I know is in the best interest of this nation, because I'm a father. I'm a father to this nation. You are my daughter. Buhari traditionally is my son. Aregbe Shola traditionally is my son. The royal fathers the royal traditional rulers are the father, and they are the closest to the grassroots. I know the people in my domain. I don't only have Iwo people in my domain. I don't only have Yoruba in my domain. I have all tribes in Nigeria, and they are all Nigerians. I want to treat them. I want them to come to the palace and see themselves as Nigerians, not as I belong to this tribe. Oh, he's an Igbo. You can't get nothing from here. No. When an Igbo man, an Hausa man decide to live in my domain, is part of the economic growth. The businesses, everything he has. And the same thing, put yourself in everybody's shoes and see if you decide to live in the north or in the southeast, how do you want to be seen?
All right, now let's move on then. The Osun State chapter of the Nigerian Union of Journalists recently bestowed on you the covetous Evergreen Award for Humanitarian Services. How exactly have you impacted the lives of the people within your domain?
Not only my domain. You can see, it's not only my domain, it's about the nation. I have gone to I'm the first, I think, the first traditional ruler to go to a prison to give them hope. Because we are trying to build a good and peaceful atmosphere in my community, but at the same time move it on, because these people in the prison, they will gain their freedom and come back. And when they come back, people in prison, if they are not, they don't have hope. So I brought a message of hope to them in the prison. It's not only Igbo people in the prison. we have Hausa,
different
and I
cultures.
went to them just to give them hope, to tell them that they have a second chance when they get out. And when they get out, no. And I saw an Hausa boy there. Do you know what it is? He said, I'm from Kaduna or something. And he prostrated like a Yoruba, right? And he prostrated and he said, hi, I have never seen a king when I was free, as a free man. I committed a crime and I came here. I have never been to a palace. I have never seen a king in my life. Not to talk about seeing a first-class paramount ruler came to where I was without no freedom. That means I have hope. When I get out here, I will make the best of my life because now I see that there is hope for me. And this is, I can't cry, but I shed tears inside to see that kind of what there's some that gain their freedom that day. I paid for fines for some of them, and they've never eaten meat before. I didn't even know that, but I brought cows to them just for them to eat. And they were so happy, and I promised to visit many other prisons to give life to these people who are hopeless, who believes that when they come out, because when they come out and they are not rehabilitated, they will do what again? Most of the armed robbers that robs all around, do you know what they do? They are from jail and they come out. They will, no, we should, the prison system, we should put more money in it. When they're coming out, maybe give them, maybe there's a money or something to give them. There should be always a way that we should impact their lives in a positive way for them not to come out and become
would be jobless or without having anything
to do. And they will go back. If anybody promised them anything, they will go back. I have fixed roads. So that road is not only what people that goes there, white man, black man, Igbo, Hausa, Kenyan, anybody has passed through that road. So is that only my domain? Huh?
That's not only your domain.
So we have opened up. There is a lot that we have done. Hospitals. It's so many. I can't even count those achievements in a little while. Over just 2 years plus on the throne, and the changes that I'm bringing to this, not to just Iwo, to this nation, peace, harmony, and love, because we can only throw a punch with a tight fist. Now we scatter fingers. And that's what I'm all about.
All right, now we'll continue this discussion when we return from the break. Stay with us. Well, you're still watching Standpoint, and His Imperial Majesty Oba Abdul-Rasheed Akanbi, the Oluwo of Iwo, is still he's still in the studio with us. Now, would like to know your stand on certain traditional practices, because according to reports, there were certain things that you did not give in to while you wanted, or you were being crowned as king.
Yeah, there's nothing. Our culture and tradition must be something that is subject to scrutiny and change, because when in the olden times they were in the dark days. But today, even our fathers, they want us to be greater than them. So it means that today the present must be wiser, better, and greater than the past. The same thing will happen to the future. My children, my children, they must be greater and wiser and better than me. The future must be better than the present. So the status quo has to be challenged. There are some things. Do you like tribal marks? Tribal marks, now it's going away and it has to fade. Because we need to. Who gives tribal marks? The parents. Is there with the consent of the child?
No.
Did the child ask for that?
No.
So what is that? That's like you just gave it to the child and what you want. Why don't you let the child grow up and do what? And ask him, do you like tribal marks? And
but for some persons, traditional medicine, they have to make incisions, and that leads to certain marks.
Incisions, what does that do?
To heal the child.
Incisions to heal. Thank you very much. How many things have you researched? Is there a medicine for, is there a tradition?
Incisions, and then the certain things are applied to the incision to ensure.
Have you ever seen surgery in the past? Surgery?
No.
Okay. Do you know our people are afraid of surgery?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And surgery, do you know what it does if you go through surgery?
Scars.
It's not only scars, but it heals.
Mm.
Research. We have to research many things that we do. Do you know that dongoyaro can kill you if you don't have the right dosage? Mm-hmm. Most of us that we take dongoyaro, we take overdose. The normal prescription for dongoyaro is just a teaspoon. Mm-hmm. There are some things in there that can heal. We need to start researching. We need to start doing some things that are different from the past. Today, we are still eating amala, eba, those heavy food. Have we ever thought about it? That we export eba, gari, and something, and to who? To the Africans living overseas, not to the white man. When are we going to be able to make foods that the white man will be eating? The white man makes food for us. Have we ever changed our ways? Amala is only what we want to use yam and amala and to eat yam and make some fried stuff.
That's because of, don't you think it's because of the limited resources available to us for processing all of these things?
So when are you going to be civilized? When? We need to talk to our people now. You don't start patting some. There is a problem. Nigeria is the hope of the black race. We need to move. We can't keep sitting down and think that we're going to sit on our bottoms and just sit there and looking for loots. Because many people are sitting down looking for loots, government loots, or looking for money-making medicine and rituals. That's why you see many rituals, killings on stuff. Like you see ants and legs and everywhere. Bado. Do you see that?
Of course.
People killing because just to get it. An anki to put in. How many people have been rich like Bill Gates since they're making money-making medicine? Who is rich? They're killing people in the name of all these medicine.
If we had the right structures in place,
yes,
would people go through all of this to ensure that they are rich?
If we know that we have this medicine, money-making medicine, the person that is making money-making medicine is living in a tattered hut, in a mud house. If he knows how to make money medicine, he should make it for everybody. Anybody that is knows how to make money-making medicine, which I believe that will be the only thing that we make in Nigeria, then you should let us do this en masse and be making money for the old people in Nigeria, and so we will be so rich, and the so-called Westerners will come here because we have enough money already to build our roads, to build all these infrastructures. We need to get our people out of the poverty of the mind. Myth and superstitions is killing us. So many myths. We need to get all these things that we cannot research. If you have a scientist, we can research all these things and bring it to life, and let's see what you can do when there is cancer, what you can do when there is aneurysm. Aneurysm, tell me what kind of something is for aneurysm, traditional medicine. Can somebody tell me what traditional medicine is for aneurysm? Aneurysm is for bleeding of the brain. Tell me which medicine is that? Can you use for aneurysm? There are many other ones. There's there's so many diseases that we can, out of it now, we don't even know the name. People die like that. And the next thing you say is that a witch is the one that killed you.
All right, now, let's quickly move on now to the other issues that seem to be bedeviling the country. Recently, there was an issue where hoodlums brazenly walked into the upper chamber, took the symbol of authority, the mace. What do you make of this incident? Breached the security, despite the fact that there's said to be tight security at the Senate, they walked right in and picked up the mace.
Me, I will talk as a father to the nation. I'm not going to talk as a politician. Politicians will take sides. I must be bipartisan, and that's the one thing I'm talking is how did it happen? How the thugs in hoodlums enter the House of Senate when they are supposed to be security? When they are taking it out, is there no police there? Is there no police in the Senate? Is there no security in place? How did it happen? I've been there, and I know what I went through to go in. So how did it happen? I think it must be something that we need to question, and it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen, and it should not be happening in today's world. We're a developing nation. Like I said, we are the hope of not just the Africa, but of the black race.
And when issues like this happen, what does it make of a country you look at as the hope of the black race?
It's disappointing, and I think there's something that should be done. Some people should be held responsible so that it won't happen in the future. Yeah, some people should be held responsible for that, and it shouldn't, so that it will be a deterrent for people not to do that in the future. So.
All right, you also took an aggressive campaign or launched an aggressive campaign against corruption, challenging the political office holders and public officials to eschew corruption. And fighting corruption was one of the 3 cardinal programs this administration said it was going to, push forward before it came in. So far, how would you evaluate our fight against corruption? Like
as a royal father, I don't want my people, my children to suffer, be it Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, or anybody. I don't want us to keep on suffering. If we have enough money, then we can build this nation more. Look at Lagos. The downtown of Lagos, which is Marina, has never experienced so much infrastructure. And yes, there are roads being built. This government is trying. But then, if the money that has been stolen in this country for the past, I don't know how many years now, since maybe after independence, maybe it's alarming that our children are now shoe shiners, prostitutes, and we have to go overseas. I heard about in 1986, 87 or 88, that's when I started hearing about Nigerians going for greener pastures. Never happened in this nation. Nigeria, we are richer than Canada. We're richer than South Africa. But we're richer than Dubai. Our nation should be better now, today, but it is lack of love.
Is it just love?
There's no love. We hate each other.
Leadership.
It's not, who is the leader? You and I, we are all leadership.
We are not at the helms of authority.
Come on, everybody gets there once in a while. Helms of authority, it's not only one person that is getting there. Where we all get there and become. So when I see Buhari as a leader, because if I see a leader that has never had houses overseas, like taking our money overseas and stuff like that, if you can tell me what Buhari has done, that he has stolen money, but he has taken a step. It's not about being partisan. He has taken a step. I am taking a step to fight out corruption in the traditional and cultural values. Yes, everything that is bad.
Can you tell us about the steps you've taken so far?
Is to talk about all these, what's it called, ritual killings and everything. What makes it happen is all these people calling themselves fake pastors, fake Imam Alpha, fake Babalawo or herbalist. They ask you when they tell you they know how to make money, money-making medicine or promotion medicine, or to get to a position medicine, and they ask for human parts. Huh? Is that part of our culture? My culture? Do you see the way I'm dressed?
Of course.
You see the way I move? Is this attractive to you?
Definitely.
Yeah, without me doing all that. And that is what we want. We want our culture to be more attractive. It's, like I tell you, a tradition and culture that is static, that is standing one place, will go into extinction. We need to update and upgrade our culture. Today, you can see Calabar there, they do this carnival. Is that the way they did it in the 60s or in the 1800s? No. They moved. Today, you see shrines everywhere with oil that is so dirty. Do you want to see that?
Is that what is hindering us from exploring that which we have
that could
make us richer than Canada, as you rightly say?
That's what I'm saying. People believe so much in like sitting down looking for money that will fall from heaven. People want to sit down and waste their life looking for money, making medicine, looking for loot to come from like, oh, I will get to that position. That's why people want to kill themselves when it comes to elective positions. But now we know that you can't take our money right now and just from money of pensioners or money of the country, of the government, you can't take it now. There is awareness. You can't take that money and just put it in your account. It won't happen no more, not in this Nigeria. And now when I'm a royal father, I will keep on talking about it. Any party in this country, any party, any political party, they should always, the only mandate I want them to bring, or the only, what they call, I want them to bring, their manifesto and their plan for Nigeria is to tell us that you will fight corruption. No matter how the public likes you, you must fight corruption. Corruption is killing our children. The highways that are not fixed is because of corruption, and people are dying. It's genocidal. The word corruption is too high, it's too harsh.
All right.
We only hear about fraud overseas. Corruption, it's a very strong word to use in a developing nation.
We have a caller on the line, Patrick, calling from Abia State. Go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, Suraya. And honestly speaking, my sister, the legacy we are seeing now, I pray it will not occur in the 9th Assembly. Why am I saying this? Because we have found out that anything we do that is right, that we cannot correct one another. Like the traditional ruler that is here in the studio, sir. It is high time for our traditional rulers to educate our politicians so that when they come to that place, the National Assembly or State Assembly, even the governors, they should not betray the dignity of the community where they are coming from. They should not betray the culture of our people. Because some of these things, we feel that everything is because of money or power. It is not. Because what international community, if you listen to, look, let me give you an example. Something happened yesterday at Frankfurt. The way they sat my own sister, she was even complaining bitterly that they think that anybody that comes from this country is a thief. At the airport yesterday, which is very, very bad. We have to think wise. The traditional rulers, they have a role to play. If they don't play it now, it will not be good for us in future. Thank you very much. And see, very soon I see our youth will still join the politics. Is that what they are going to do?
All right, Patrick, thank you for your contribution. Well, Patrick just made a very key point. He said traditional rulers have a role to play. Are traditional rulers really playing their role?
That's what we need to...
Ensuring that things are done as they should do. Because there is a statement that was, said that it was said you made, saying that the traditional rulers are our problems in this country.
Yes, I said.
Problems in this country.
Yes, I said so. Traditional rulers must step up the plate. It's not about like we do in the past. In the past, it's about, oh, traditional rulers, they don't talk. They have to sit down. They don't talk because many people that become traditional rulers in the past are old people. Traditional rulers don't dance, don't do this because, no, we have to move. If you don't move and be fathers to the nation, especially the first-class ones, the first-class ones, we have to move. We have to lead our people. We are the closest to the grassroots. Mm-hmm. So it means in this nation, traditional rulers are the leaders of this nation, not politicians. Politicians can only bring divide. They have their own party they belong to. So they won't even, you won't see them. What I want them to do is like when you get to this post, even you should, when your, our, what's it called? Our government, they should always bring everybody in. If PDP is in position, they should not waste the doctor or the professional that can help the country. So they should bring them together. The traditional rulers has a lot of roles to play. Today, you can see, I'm talking about where I came from, you can see that the politicians are the one trying to fix problems between traditional rulers. And it's not supposed to be so. Traditional rulers are the ones supposed to do what?
Fix the problem.
Fix the problem. They're the one, we the ones supposed to call, we the leaders of this nation. Because politicians comes and go. They can only be there for a while.
So how did it get to this level? We'll talk about that.
They got to this level. Okay, you
when
want
we take this break.
Okay.
After we return from this break, stay with us. You're still watching Standpoint, and His Imperial Majesty is still in the studio. Before we went on break, we were talking about the role of traditional rulers and how the fact that the reverse in roles has been the case, where the traditional rulers are the ones that are supposed to call those in power together and find solutions, but now the reverse is the case. Yes. And I asked her, how did it get to that level? It
got to that level because most of our jobs we are lacking in it. We don't see ourselves as fathers of the people. It has been during the time immemorial, you can see, like I know about, you can, if somebody actually insult the king or something like that, some people might not even ask, what's the question, what's the insult, why did they insult me? They would just say, they have more powers that time. Go and cut his head off. So if you cut that head off, whose head are you cutting if you are the father of the nation? Regardless of the tribe, regardless of if it's a son of a slave, a son of a chief, everybody must be a child of the king. You are the father to the nation because one day the slave can become a master. Today we see many people, children who don't have nothing, they are becoming governors, lawyers, governors and senators. So when they get the power too, in this kind of dispensation that we have, we're in the civilized democracy, right? Then when he got power, he can use it over the king too. We need to dissociate ourselves from, there's a lot that has been wrong. We need to dissociate ourselves from many things. We can be part, what they call, there are some secret societies we don't need to be in. A king, I will tell you what a king is. Every king. There is no king in humans. Only God is the king. We have to do things in the spiritual. The spiritual is what makes the physical to manifest. And if you don't see yourself as a representative of God on earth, I am the Oluwo. Do you know what Oluwo means? Oluwo means the Lord of the land, the Lord of Iwo. That means I'm representing God on earth. If you are representing God on earth, what are your jobs? God is the one that serves the world. Do you know that? We cannot serve God. We only ask things from God. Do you know what God does? He is a servant that doesn't get paid. Let me tell you now, give me that paper. Do you know that you are providing? What is that? Is that a service or not?
It is.
So give me a water. So the provider is always the servant. God is our servant because he provides everything that we ask for. He's the one that guides you in everything. If you don't believe in God, it's your problem. But what I'm telling you, a king. God is the only king. And kings cannot be in what? Kings cannot be in the... before you become the king, you might be in any secret court. You might be in anything. Some people might help you there. Anything that helps you there. But the day you become a king, you have to dissociate yourself from what? That position doesn't do what? Doesn't allow you to be member. Because members of those courts have kings. Then it means that you as a king, any king, it doesn't matter how big you are.
You're subject to...
You are subject to what?
That leader.
That leader. And so if that is the case, you become a member of that, then that town or that place will be ruled by who?
The other leader.
The dictate.
The dictate.
So now, we are talking about cultism in Nigeria. We're talking about our children are cults, secret society. Where did they get it from? Who? Where did they get it from? They got it from the fathers, the leaders. We say we are the leaders. If you belong to cult, you can't tell your child not to be. And then we're calling the people in secret cults and cultism, we're calling them criminals. Then what about the leaders that are in this cult?
All right.
So it's just a moment. I'm just trying to explain something to you because it needs people need explanation.
Because we are running out of time.
We're running out of time. So these are the things that if you belong as a member, when you become that, what's it called? When you become the leader of the society, you can't subject your crown to those things anymore. There must be a power that holds you. And when you are representing God, a pastor, an imam, or a fa, or Ifa or something, they are all messengers. The king is a what? Representative of God. So you are we are the fathers of this nation, and we need to come together as fathers. But when we come together as split people, then there is a problem in this nation.
Okay, now let's quickly move on. The level of insecurity in the nation has been on the high. I'm sure you are aware of the situation that went on in Benue State, in Taraba State, where headers wielding weapons, AK-47 and the likes. One wonders, because we know that you've been a staunch supporter of this administration, and you at some point said that when the president was ill, you said that you prayed the sickness, comes to you and all of that. But then, do you still support the president the way, looking at how far the things have gone and the security situation, would you say that this government is handling it the way we should, and do you still have that support for the president?
I am not a blind supporter of anybody. Like I said, I'm a father of the nation, and you have to look at both sides. What's the interest of the nation? He inherited this problem. This problem didn't start when he came. He inherited it, something that has been, it's just a time bomb that is blowing in our face now. It's something that has not been taken care of. And why? It's still what I'm talking about, the unity of this nation. If a Fulani man feels that he's not wanted, he's not a Nigerian in a war, then he lives in the bush, lives in the forest. He's not a Nigerian. He doesn't see himself. If a Yoruba boy doesn't see himself, imagine, put yourself in everybody's shoes. You are a Fulani, you are a cow herder, you are in the north. And that is your business. Yes, the farmers has a way, but there is a problem in this land. There is no unity. We have the segregation and discrimination of each other. We don't love each other. There is no Nigeria. There is tribes. There are tribes in Nigeria.
But then are we handling it the way we should?
We need to start now. We need to go to the drawing board. And the leaders, the traditional leaders, the traditional rulers are the only ones who can solve the problem of this nation. The only ones.
The security problem?
Yes. In my place, we have Fulanis and we have Hausas. They see me as a father. They can come to my palace anytime. They see themselves as an Iwo man. They don't see themselves. I have gone to their Ga. They call the places where they live Ga Fulani. They're in the forest. I've went there and I told them the future of grazing is bleak. Because, so you need to go to school. And it's true. Because if you don't take care of them and they are living in my domain and there is no grazing anymore, there is ranching, what would be their job? Then they can become what? Miscreants.
But in the short term, how would that solve or stop the killings?
What can stop the killing is we need to take a step now. And what we need to do is know how to live side by side in peace. Let me tell you, there are some domains. In my domain, we have the cattle rearers, we have the farmers. The cattle rearers provide the meat. The farmers provide the food. And the home of the cattle rearer and the farmer is near each other because most of the places that farming is what they use for their what's it called, for incomes. And there are many places where are not in the city. So I have told them, first, don't use little kids that cannot control a cow. And you will see little boys, 10, 9, they are the ones. How can they rear cows like that? The older ones stay home. And these little boys are the ones, they can't control the brain of a cow. So the cow can go into the farm because for them to move from where they are to go to the grazing field, but again, what we need to do now is for where they are living, they have a fence, a place where they keep their cows at night. What they should do, keep that fence, keep the cows in there, go and get what? Hay to feed the cow. I have seen one. I was coming just from Ibadan now, and I saw a Fulani man with his turban, and he was cutting the grass and keeping them in bales. And he will carry them to where? To his ranch. He doesn't need to bring cows on the road. That is, ranching will solve the problem.
All right.
Let's everybody stay where they are, the farmer, because we need meat also, the same way we need our food.
All right, quickly, because we are almost getting to the point where we have to end the program, but quickly, 2019 elections are just months away. And do you have your PVC? Are you going to vote?
I'm going to vote. I have my PVC.
So now what are there are new kids on the block who want to change the change.
Yes.
What do you make of this? What do you envisage come 2019?
All our children, professionals and everybody, they should, if you're eligible to vote, you should go into politics. Because if you don't go, you shouldn't be scared of this kind of politics. Before, they used to be scared of politics, and the only people we see in the political system, if you are a lawyer, a professor, a doctor, anybody in great professions are scared to be a politician, then you will leave it to a tout. So if they are your lawmakers and they make tout laws for you, you should not be doing what? You should not be angry. Then everybody should go into politics one way or the other. If you believe you are a leader of the only way you can be a leader in this nation, go into politics. When you go into politics, then you can make a change. You have to stay on one course. Don't believe that you can break any barrier. You can break a barrier anytime as a youth. You just have to don't be jack of all trade. Just take one thing and start doing it and be consistent with what you're doing, and you can break it. We've seen people like Tinubu, and there was no name for Tinubu in the 70s, in the 80s, and he broke from nowhere. That is what they call a person who is committed.
So you're excited to see new faces?
New faces. I want to see new faces. I want to see people who are nobody becoming somebody. I want to see, I don't know, there are many faces that we haven't seen. before in Osun politics. Today we've seen them coming up. PDP, APC, COA party, and Labour and stuff like that. Everybody go into politics, because if you don't go into politics, then it means that if unqualified people make your politics, then it means that if unqualified people make your laws, you should not be angry, because you, professor or doctor, you failed to do what you, and they are the one that make our laws. So I will, in the next, one thing I said, every party should fight corruption, no matter what. Corruption is the killer of this land. If we don't kill corruption, corruption will kill everybody in this Nigeria, and we'll still be sending our children. Do you know there is slavery now in Nigeria? Slavery. Do we love each other? We're still, people are sending people to Saudi Arabia to become slaves, sending them to Oman, Qatar, Libya, everywhere. Even Ivory Coast right there. Yeah. Promising them of a greater future, but there is none. They have to pay back some great money to come.
Huge amount of money.
So that's, we have a problem in Nigeria, and this needs to be fixed. I'm not coming here to come and sweet talk Nigerians, or to come and tell you what you want to hear. I want you to start thinking in another way. All those myths and superstition, get out. You need to go and work. There is no money-making medicine.
All right.
If there is, one thing, if there is what we call, there is something called affairi or aigbe. If there is aigbe, then everybody that wants to go to America, we'll just pack all of them and throw them to America with aigbe. And then we know that there is aigbe. All this, we don't want myth and superstitions. People should not wait for money-making medicine. Go and work. Go and no looting is happening in Nigeria anymore. So don't wait for money from anybody that is looting. God bless you.
His Imperial Majesty Oba Abdul-Rasheed Akanbi.
Yes.
Okay. The Oluwo of Iwo, thanks for your time on Standpoint. Well, and it's a wrap on this week's edition of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can watch a repeat of the program tomorrow by 7 a.m. on this channel. I'm Veronica Onuchi. Bye for now.